Here, boy, it's close. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We've got a quorum. All right. Agenda item number 2, we have the agenda, approval of the agenda. I'd entertain a motion that way.
Second.
All right, that's, oh, I'm sorry.
Please delete item 6.
Oh, that's right. 6B is being taken off.
My motion is to approve the agenda as amended.
Okay. So, and you.
And second.
Okay, and so that is moved and seconded. The agenda as written minus 6B. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, please say no. That passes unanimously. Public comment on items that are not on the agenda. Is there anybody in the public that would like to say anything today about an item that's not on the agenda? Would anybody like to comment on Merv's shirt today?
I already said
Okay.
that my error was, it's a lot nicer shirt than I thought it was.
All right. Seeing no public comment on items on the agenda or further harassing of Merv, we'll move on to agenda item number 4.
That's how they show me love. Andy, that's just so you know.
All right. Item number 4, approval of the minutes from March 14th and of Merv's shirt. So, thank you. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. All those in favor of approval of the minutes from our last month's meeting, please say aye.
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 Opposed? All right, seeing no opposition, that passes unanimously. All right, let's get the CAC monthly report. I've got it on good authority that this is going to be really awesome.
I'm Tom Griswold, I'm the second vice chair of the committee. If you recall, a few months ago, both the chair and the vice chair had shoulder surgery. I didn't follow that. And this month, they both went on vacation. I did not go on vacation, so that's why you have me today. A couple of items that were of interest for us in the CAC meeting. There were some discussions about City of Colorado Springs contracts. The first one related to Murray Boulevard, and it was involved with installing manholes to allow for inspection onto the road and everything. The discussion that wrapped around that was primarily that there weren't any manholes already, so then why were we calling it a maintenance item? And there wasn't, it's not on the maintenance, or it's not on the capital list, so it has to be maintenance. A lot of discussion ended up being a 12-to-1 vote in favor of approval, so no problems there. The second item was El Paso County contracts. There were 4 contracts and 1 information item that was really involving devolution funds, which was related to the RV park out in West Colorado. Those were all unanimous in their approval. So no other issues were related to us during the CAC meeting. Are there any questions?
Yes, Council Member
Yes.
Avila. Gosh darn it.
Thank you,
I'll get
Chair
that
Muller.
right one of these days.
The one on Murray Boulevard?
Yes.
What's the cross street?
I'd have to look at the actual contract.
Pikes Peak.
Pikes Peak and Murray.
It's your district.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I just wanted to see where in my district.
Yeah, it's a 2C project actually to do the resurfacing. So,
Awesome.
any other questions? Thank you.
All right. Seeing none.
I make a motion to accept.
And I second.
All right, so it's acceptance has been moved and seconded. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. All right, seeing none, that passes unanimously. On to item 6, financial reports. Okay news, Bev.
A little bad. This yesterday morning, we received $7,119,000 compared to a budget of $7,483,000. So for the month of February, we're below budget by $364,000. But we were ahead of budget in January by $660,000. So year to date, we're still ahead by $296,000, or 2.1%. Let's hope that it gets a little better than that.
Yeah, we're going to need people to quit shopping online and start shopping in our brick and mortar stores, please.
So compared to last year, though, on page 2, we were behind February by 290,000, but ahead year-to-date by 443,000. So we're still ahead of last year, year-to-date also. Are there any questions? Okay, thank you.
All right.
Wow.
And since 6B has been removed, we'll move on to agenda item number 7, the 2018 capital maintenance and public transportation contracts. Mr. Chavez.
Good afternoon, Mike Chavez, City Engineering. We have two items for your consideration today. The first one is installation of some manholes in the storm sewer pipe on Murray Boulevard between Bijou and Pikes Peak. There's no access to get those to do some lining that they're going to do down the line. So this contract is for the installation of those manholes, and it's a maintenance item.
Would you like to talk to, because apparently there was a bunch of discussion in the CAC about whether, if they're not there and it's new installation, how's that not capital construction?
Well, yeah, I'll let
Mr. Farkas.
Court talk about that.
Sure, thank you.
Good afternoon, Corey Farkas, City of Colorado Springs Public Works. So we have infrastructure there. There's stormwater infrastructure underneath the roadway. When that was installed, we had different criteria at that point. And at this point, we put in manholes every 500 feet. More of a safety item than anything else. You can't send inspectors down in there in one direction or another for more than that and still be safe, inspecting the pipes as well. And the smaller pipes that we can't get a camera in that far as well. So we have areas of existing infrastructure throughout town that we can't safely inspect, and then should it need it, which it probably does, then pull a liner through without having those manholes in. So it's absolutely a maintenance item in that it's existing infrastructure that we're trying to maintain, but we can't do it safely without the manholes.
Any other questions on that?
I move approval.
What was that originally put in, and why wasn't it, if that's the status that it's supposed to be every 500 feet, that they weren't there?
Well, the drainage criteria has changed over the years. I don't know when that was put in. I would imagine
Several years ago.
a long time ago, in the 60s or 70s.
So now, from now on forward, you're going to be every 500 feet?
Yeah, that's the drainage criteria manual states every 500 feet. So all new construction goes in that way.
Councilmember Geisinger.
And I guess, I'm not sure if this was brought up to the CAC, but with 2C road repairs and construction going forward, I assume that this is going to be an issue on other streets as well.
Yeah, this is something that we've actually already done.
Okay.
Yeah, we've been doing this.
It just was raised at this particular meeting.
Correct. So so when we go in, we've been utilizing PPRTA maintenance funds out in front of 2C to be able to help maintain the stormwater infrastructure that could negatively impact that roadway. And in this particular stretch of roadway, we've got to plop in these manholes so that we can get the inspection done, and then potentially, if it's corrugated metal pipe, more than likely it's already past its life expectancy, and we'll have to do some sort of maintenance.
Okay.
We, the city approved the drainage I'm sorry. The city approved the new drainage manual about 3 years ago.
I think it was 3 years ago.
And that time, we actually delayed it 6 months before we approved it in order to get the state to approve it first. We didn't want to approve it and then have to come back and retrofit it. So this is a drainage manual that's very current, and it meets the state standards for drainage control. And we do not waver from the drainage manual.
All right, any other questions or comments regarding the City of Colorado Springs maintenance contracts?
Well, there's that one, and then there's another one.
Oh, I thought you explained the other one already.
The other one is intersection improvements at Westland and Westwood and Meadowland by the Grant Elementary, and so there's a lot of work in that intersection going on, new sidewalks, ped ramps, traffic signal, some drainage improvements, storm sewer. Just, it's a very old, messy intersection.
This is the Vista Grande part of Colorado Springs.
And that's a capital project.
I move approval of both projects.
Second.
All right, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. All right, seeing no opposition, both of those contracts pass unanimously.
Thank you very much.
Unanimously, yeah. There we go. El Paso County, Ms. Urban.
Jennifer Irvin, County Engineer. We have 5 items for your consideration today. The first is a maintenance item, and that's our 2018 pavement maintenance materials purchase order. This is pavement materials that are used for repair of our roads, potholing and other things that we do. So this is, we award a total of $200,000. We break that over three suppliers, and we use those based upon the most cost-effective supplier at that point. So we may be able to get asphalt, because it's closer to one of our projects for a better price. So but the overall amount that we will use for all 3 of these suppliers is $200,000. The next one is our surface concrete drainage program, and this is for curb gutter, sidewalk replacement, and usually is done in advance of paving. And so this is for $2.4 million. This is a contract for this year, but also includes 3 possible renewals. And our new contractor for this year is Olganuk, and they came in significantly lower than our previous contractor. We've used them at other locations for other federal projects, so we feel that they will be doing a good job. The third item is our pavement crack sealing contract, and this is a contract that we've had in place since 2015. It was for 1 year with 4 renewal options. This is the 3rd renewal option that we are looking to exercise, and we will be spending $800,000 on crack sealing work this year in the county, in addition to the crack seal work we do with our other road and bridge funds internally. The final contract is for $600,000. This is with Suncor Energy, and this is for emulsified asphalt to be used for our chip seal program. And this is a material purchase. We do all that work in-house with our own crews. And so this is for the asphalt, $600,000. We are piggybacking off a CDOT contract to get better prices. And then the final one is really more of a procedural item, just putting this on here for a procedural issue. This is a West Colorado Avenue property acquisition purchase. And this is a purchase being made within the city of Colorado Springs. And so, but the funding is actually coming from the devolution funds that we received from CDOT. The county received it as a result of taking over that road. And our Board of County Commissioners, when we received that funding, had pledged that funding for this project. So we are using those funds, but procedurally, from the city standpoint, my understanding is that if it's a PPRTA project, they bring it in front of the PPRTA board for the property acquisition approval. So we're kind of doing that more as a procedural approval so that we can get that project, continue that project. And that's a big purchase because it's right at the bridge.
And I notice on the other side, those 2 buildings are now gone.
Yes, isn't that a great site?
Thank you.
Seems like I signed one.
So that's all I have for you today.
West Colorado.
I move approval of these contracts.
Second.
All right, it's been moved and seconded. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say no, please. Seeing no opposition, that passes unanimously. Thank you.
Thank you.
Other reports. Our City of Colorado Springs Transit Services Monthly Report. I always want to say Mr. Blewett, but I know that's not quite right. That's it?
Mr. Blewett, yes. I will answer to that. Good afternoon. Craig Blewett, Transit Services Manager with the City of Colorado Springs. Our report is in your agenda packet. Just to quickly go over some of our ridership numbers, our fixed route service actually had a significant decline in February 2018 compared to 2017 of almost 12%. That's notable. I would point out that February 2017 was an unusually high ridership number, so we are comparing to a higher number. Nonetheless, it has our attention. It's something we'll keep an eye on. 2 data points do not denote a trend, but we will be keeping an eye on this. On the ADA paratransit side, we had an increase of about 1.6%. Oh, sorry, decrease of 1.6%. So that went down also, but not nearly as much as the fixed route for that month. And Vanpool had an increase of just about 5%. The only other thing that we included in our report was having to do with our service changes that were proposed to take place this coming spring. And those service changes have been approved. We did add the availability of a half-fare price for anybody who is eligible for that special fare, that half-price fare, to give a $31 cost pass for a 31-day card. So we want to provide an additional cost-effective option for those who are eligible for that half-price fare with Mountain Metro. And that's all I have.
Yes, Councilmember
Craig,
Geisner.
Obviously, the numbers between February of 2017 and February of 2018,
Yes.
and you addressed those a little bit. Just as a general proposition, what are we doing regionally, locally, whatever, to look at enhancing ridership, enhancing, use of this system?
Sure. Well, we have a marketing plan for 2018. We have a marketing budget for 2018. There are a lot of, not having prepared for that for this afternoon, that we do have a plan in place. Two of our focus points are seniors and youth. And in addition, we've really expanded our social media presence on Facebook and Twitter in particular. And our the website, at the city's website, we have a fairly prominent page there, and we're actually number 3 citywide in hits on our webpage, which is quite significant. I think we're behind Pikes Peak Highway, and maybe the airport, but I'm not sure, but we're up there. So there are a number of things that we're doing. I think working with the colleges for a student pass program is significant as well, and we are seeing growth in both UCCS and Colorado College usage. And the vote was yesterday and today for Pikes Peak Community College students to vote with their student fees to also cover that as well. And Pikes Peak Community College, we get really good ridership from PPCC, and I think with the availability of unlimited rides through their student fees can provide a good opportunity as well.
And it is unfair, but, the numbers came up and they just prompted me, so I wanted to look at it. Is that something that you could put on the agenda sometime to come in and talk about what is being done to address this, and frankly look also further what can be done more regionally, locally?
Sure, and it's really a combination of things. What's really key is the service we provide. That's what ultimately attracts and retains our ridership. Promotions just allows people to be aware of them, right? So it's really important that the service we provide, and we get first impressions in terms of a clean coach once you get on a bus, in terms of on-time reliability, and the information that we get out to folks. So it's really a combination of those three things. But sure, are you thinking like 3 to 5 minute type?
Yeah, 3 to 5 minutes. I'd like that. Thank you.
Okay, be happy to do that.
All right, any other questions? Seeing none, thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right, the change order reports for the city of Colorado Springs.
Like there's a few.
Mike Chav, City Engineering. So this is an informational item. What we have there is a listing of the top part is the maintenance contracts that change orders or task orders were issued against. Most of that is, a lot of it's bridge maintenance and Lucky Dog, and those are maintenance with our operation, street division, concrete work, and traffic signal work, and then some bridge maintenance, Chanel and TLM. And then the other table is just the task orders that we have issued for design that we report to Rick just to kind of track how we're using the task orders.
All right, any questions on the Colorado Springs change orders?
I do have a question.
Councilmember?
Under the bottom down there, it talks about the Citadel Mall storm drain improvements design.
Mhm.
I know we've had some during hailstorms, we've had some significant flooding.
Yes, so the entrance to the Citadel Mall there on Santa Rosa has a lot of grates that get plugged with hail.
I see.
So we're looking at changing those out, putting more typical storm inlets, upsizing. Well, the pipe that takes the water away is actually big enough. Just making sure we get enough capacity to get water into the system.
I see. Okay, thank you.
All right, any other questions? Seeing none, thank you very
All right, thank you.
much. Staff field review. Mr. Sonnenberg.
Rick Sonnenberg, this is information only. This is the results of my quarterly drive around to confirm that what the member governments place on their quarterly reports to you are in fact done. So, any questions?
That sounds like a fun job,
Okay.
driving around looking at construction projects. That's pretty cool. All right, seeing no questions, thank you. Legislative report. How is it under the Thunderdome?
Getting fun.
Mr. Jablan.
Thank you. There's not a whole lot new to report from last month. Senate Bill 1, which is our last remaining issue, is still in the Speaker's office. The negotiations are going on behind the scenes as to what may or may not happen with that. There was an amendment from the Joint Budget Committee that if Senate Bill 1 doesn't make it to the finish line, $495 million will be appropriated from the general fund into the transportation fund. And then, of course, Senate Bill 267, which provided the funding last year, will remain intact. If Senate Bill 1 does make it to the finish line, there is an amendment in there that bridges the 267 financing. Anyway, that's what's kind of going on with our biggest issue. So we seem to be in pretty good shape either way on both of those. And now it's 19 days left in the session, and about 80% of the people there are talking to each other. So it's, as Commissioner Waller can attest. So we're getting to where it's fun.
Any questions for Dan? I got one other update I wanted to share with you all that maybe Dan's not aware of. So Senate Bill 267 is, created about $1.9 billion in bonding for transportation that was passed last year. There's currently a Friends of Tabor has filed a lawsuit against Senate Bill 267 saying that it violated the single subject rule when it went through the state legislature. We feel really confident that that lawsuit's going to be dismissed at some point, but here's the problem. The next court date for that lawsuit isn't until October because Friends of Tabor got fired by their lawyers, and the judge has given them an opportunity to find new counsel. And so the problem is the Treasurer's office was just getting ready to issue the bonds to develop this money, and now their lawyers are telling them that they need to hold off and wait. And they're not able to do that at this point in time. And that means that the $267 that were going to be available to build out I-25 aren't necessarily going to be there. We talked to CDOT this morning. CDOT had just found out about this, but we thought, well, maybe there's enough fund balance in CDOT's operating account in order to be able to get this project, or their capital construction account, in order to get this project started. CDOT says no fund balance at all. So we're in a circumstance where our project may be held hostage until this lawsuit's resolved in some way. We're trying to come up with some other creative solutions, and perhaps the $500 million one-time money that the governor's promised might be able to get us from A to B, but that obviously hasn't passed yet either. So another issue on our I-25 project.
Lawyers.
Damn lawyers.
Lawyers, yeah.
Those lawyer politicians are the worst, Murph.
And that's what we'll have to keep an eye on, because
The lawyers or the
lawyer politicians,
Terrible.
they're in the same canoe.
The only thing worse is lawyer lobbyists. I don't know.
So, I do think the budget money of the $495 million is probably closer to reality than Senate Bill 1. I mean, this is an election year, and there's no reporters in here, are there? The Senate Bill, the speaker's pickled up right now because if they pass Senate Bill 1, it makes it look like the Republicans have solved the transportation problem, and that becomes a mailer. So, I mean, right now it's a matter of politics. I mean, it's just that simple.
It's big politics, and there's certainly it impacts the ballot initiatives that could potentially be moving forward this year. There's all sorts of issues. Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other questions? All right, number 10. I think we got good news on agenda item number 10 and the potential for an executive session.
Yeah, I don't have a specific need for an executive session because we don't have any update over what we talked about last month in executive session. There's been no change, no rulings from the Supreme Court. We are meeting, and when I say we, I mean the attorneys for all the interested parties, so the SCFD, the RTD, PPRTA, are meeting with the Department of Revenue tomorrow to talk about implementing, getting the marijuana tax assessed again. But unfortunately, since that meeting's tomorrow, I have absolutely nothing to tell you today.
All right, any questions that she can't answer? Okay, seeing none. Number 11.
Also, no action needed. I think I updated you last month that the oral arguments before the Court of Appeals in the Walmart case are scheduled for April 17th. I'll be there. Rick and Beverly are going to be there. I think Andrew's going to try to attend as well. So we'll have a report for you on how that went. Likely not a decision, but a report for next month.
All right, that takes us on to number 12. I think we can get this done in record time here.
I have one comment.
Oh, my gosh. All right, Councilmember Bennett.
I think you saw yesterday that Colorado Springs now is number 2, is top places in the nation to live. We all think it's number 1, and I think it will be next year.
I said on Facebook, if they did that report in August when it's really hot in Austin, we would have been number 1.
Exactly.
See?
I've asked some people, Colorado Springs or Austin. I've not got one person saying Austin.
Yeah, maybe in February or March, sure, Austin.
But the point is,
do in
the
August.
mayor made comment about 2C and 2A being approved. I think a lot of the significance of Colorado Springs being so positively reviewed is a lot of the work that's happened over the last decade and a half in PPRTA. This has been a great winner for our community.
Well, I think it's because of our city council, not our mayor, that's for sure. I'm kidding. I'm kidding, Jeff Green, I'm kidding.
It's a partnership, and I believe it or not, I'll say this publicly, I would include the county as well. I hate saying that in public, but...
How about that? Any other member announcements? Anything from Green Mountain Falls? Is it better to live in than Colorado Springs?
We do know Green Mountain Falls is the gateway to Colorado Springs.
Oh, very good.
The gateway from Colorado Springs? I don't know.
Gateway to something.
Yeah. Marijuana's a gateway drug, too. No. Anything from Rama? All right. Seeing nothing else, guess what? We are adjourned in 29 minutes.
Oh.
That was excellent. Nicely done.
Great meeting. Very good. Good job, Mark.
29 minutes.